Hello, lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where, in my eyes, honesty is the best policy, and if you can tell by the title of the video, this is going to be a very honest reaction to Celtic's loss at the hands of RB Leipzig. Now, what I do ask from each and every one of you before we go into the actual video is that you respect everyone's opinions, We're all supporters of Celtic, right? We all love Celtic. But we are all going to see the game in different ways. So I ask you respect each other's opinions in the comments. You respect my opinion. Because at the end of the day, I'm allowed to disagree with you guys. You guys are allowed to disagree with me. That's how it goes. Some of you may agree. Some of you may not. But respect is the main thing. And I also ask that I don't see in the comment section anyone saying you're not a true supporter because you're not supporting the team. You can... everyone still supports the team. Just because we see the game in a different way, we see that result in a different light to others, doesn't mean we're not supporters of the football club, because things went well today, but the majority of it did not go well. And we're going to cover that in this video. And there are going to be some harsh reality checks. There are going to be some things I say that are brutally honest. And even, it's not like I'm saying it's the end of the world, but it is a reaction. And this is my reaction, so please do respect that. But let's get into the video. So I am an optimist, right? I can be an optimist. We see that in all my pre-match previews. Whenever I predict the scoreline, I'm always an optimist, right? But that optimism has to take a seat to the side when shit doesn't go right. Because when shit doesn't go right, something's gone wrong, and we have to address that. Because whether it's a mistake or deliberate, none of it is deliberate. I shouldn't even say that because they're all mistakes, right? And when things don't go right numerously, but over a short period of time, then we really have to address it. Mistakes, they happen. But when things are happening consistently, that is something that needs to be addressed. Now, let's take a step back. Let's go through the game first and foremost. The first half was awfully even, I'd say. We were undone by a counter-attack from a position where we were dominating the match, We had a corner straight after a couple blocked shots, but they just went on and scored from a loose touch from Callum McGregor. And it really went against the run of play. Leipzig dominated first. We had a period of play, and then this happened after, I think it was 10 minutes after they had their original goal disallowed for offside. But it was okay. It was their only shot on target for that half. We did have two shots on target, one being Kyogo's header, which did force quite a decent save from the Leipzig goalkeeper, I must admit. The other was a pretty piss-poor Greg Taylor shot, but it did cause a bobble that I thought really should have been cleaned up by a Celtic attacker and put into the back of the net. Regardless, we went into halftime 1-0 down. And, I forgot to mention, McGregor, of course, went out in that first half. That does not look good. That does not look good. It looks like he's going to be out for a couple of 3-4 weeks. And in this very, very congested time, it is the worst time for that to happen. But regardless, the second half, it couldn't have started any better, right? We come out of the break, no subs made. I was a bit cautious, but 2 minutes in, happy as ever. Jota, he couldn't have missed. He could not have missed, and he didn't. Kyogo unselfishly or selflessly squared the ball across the face of the goal. Jota, only the keeper to beat. Keeper was moving one way, he puts it the other way. It's as simple as that. 1-1. Celtic had life, the fans had life, and it was looking all right. But we kept pushing. So did Leipzig. They got a goal disallowed. Thank the Lord that got disallowed. Because that was so demoralising. And, well, it made just what happened a few seconds later even more demoralising. We all know what happened next. They go 2-1 up. More on that in a bit. But that was heartbreaking because we didn't look a single chance again. Our heads dropped. The team was deflated. It was just terrible. It was so heartbreaking to see. They went 3-1 up, and you just wanted the full-time whistle to go. We all knew Celtic weren't getting back into that match. And it brings me back to that earlier point. Supporters are going to support, but we didn't look a chance. Everyone could admit that. After that second goal went in, we didn't look a chance of getting an equaliser. And when the third goal went in, that was the game right there and then. But we were done and dusted. And you know what? It is a major learning curve for Ange, for the lads in that trip to Germany, because while Leipzig didn't really have, they had a great active section, had to give it to them, but the rest of the stadium was pretty much a lot of empty seats. There's a lot to learn from that. The atmosphere, the play style, a lot of things. And you know what? The first thing I was going to talk about is how Celtic don't take our chances, but I've spoken about that so much recently. I think we're going to avoid that because I sound like a broken record when I talk about it. And you know what? I will give credit where credit is due here. We improved on our chance, finishing our dinner. You know, we only did score 1 goal. We only had 5 shots on target. 2 of them, one was, yeah, look, I'd say it was better, but, you know, it wasn't the best, but it was better. I have to give credit. If we missed that Jota chance, it would have been, that would have been the talking point for the video. But the only other point in the game I can remember where I think we also had a great goal scoring opportunity, which we absolutely threw away, was when Leipzig, similarly to Celtic, gave possession away right in front of their own goal. Hatate gets it, he plays it up to Kyogo, a dodgy touch, and he goes for the half volley. If he had controlled the ball properly, he would have seen Jota on the left. Jota had pretty much would have had an identical chance to the one he had scored. So that was a very big miss for Celtic, missed opportunity. And I think other than that, I think Celtic did do better than recently in finishing our chances. So that's okay. But many more things to talk about. And the first thing I'm going to do, because I want to get it out of the way, because I know this is a very contentious part, is Ange stuffed up. Ange stuffed up, you know. And what did he stuff up? He stuffed up our substitutes. Not a single substitute was made until the 75th minute of the match. No, let me rephrase. There was a substitute beforehand. That was McGregor for Abildgaard. But not a single impact substitute or substitute to change the game was made until that 75th minute. And it begs the question, why go away from what has been done recently? Why go away from this philosophy of, you know, a couple subs around the 60th minute? Or in previous Champions League games, why not a half-time substitute for a winger? Because we saw against Shakhtar, against Real Madrid, Dyson Maida came on at half-time in both those games. Obviously, he started today. Why did we not make a similar substitute at half-time for someone like Haksabanovic, who really has got an X-factor to him? Ange stuffed up there, and he is learning, but at the end of the day, what went wrong is what went wrong on the field. And so we're going to talk about that. And speaking about Dyson Maida, it leads me on to my second point. Why? Why persist with Dyson Maida? You know, has he got a clause in his contract that he has to play the majority of every single Champions League game this season? Why persist with him? He doesn't offer Celtic what we need when we have the ball at our feet. Don't get me wrong. Dyson Maida, workhorse, presses. He's great at the press, all right? You know, and that is so effective in the Scottish Premiership when teams are trying to come out from the back from a goal kick or something, and Dyson Maida is able to go press the winger. But in Europe, he isn't effective even with the press. Now, a lot of you will disagree here, but I thought Dyson looked clunky tonight. I thought he looked very slow. I thought he looked very off the pace, you know. Props for trying hard. Great, you know, and this is a very harsh comment, but it has to be made. Players can try hard and they can give it their all. But at the end of the day, trying your hardest doesn't win you the match. Quality wins you the match, and Dyson Maida has not showed that quality needed in Europe. And there is an argument, the fact that, you know, I think it's 9 or 8 out of the 11 starters tonight had never played Champions League before this season. But the thing is, at least every other one of those players has shown quality in the Champions League so far. Dyson Maida hasn't. Kyogo has shown his quality, you know, rarely, but he has. Jota, absolutely shown his quality. Matt O'Reilly has been phenomenal today. I thought Matt O'Reilly was one of our best. Rayo Hatate has shown his quality in these matches. Callum McGregor, he has already played. He doesn't need to be understated. Juranovic, quality player. Stephen Welsh, I thought he didn't have a bad game. Jens didn't have a bad game. Obviously do like Starfelt and CCV, but they didn't do bad. Greg Taylor, I have to give it to him. He impressed me. He did very, very well today. Joe Hart, we'll get on more into him later, but back to Dyson Maeda, I just went on a bit of a tangent there. He was seriously off the technically, and with the ball at his feet, he offers us nothing. I'm saying it right now, he offers us nothing, and people say, oh, but he's quick and he's fast. He didn't even look fast tonight. The left back was keeping up with Dyson Maeda, who's meant to be the fastest, who's meant to be leaps and bounds the fastest player in our team. It's very concerning as well, and that leads me back to the Ange point. Dyson was ineffective for the full 75 minutes he was on the pitch. So why did it take 75 minutes to get him off the pitch? We have Haksabanovic on the bench, even Jamesy Forrest. I don't agree with bringing Jamesy Forrest on. I'd rather Leo Labada, obviously, he was out. But Haksabanovic, he will easily change the game. Why wait so long? Why wait? Why not bring him on in the 60th minute when scores are tied and Celtic need to find a winner? It just baffles me, all right? I just think, I don't know what the solution is. I think, I just think Europe is out of Dyson's depth. From what I've seen in the first 3 games, it's out of his depth. I think he's very effective off the ball, especially in the league. I'll give him that. And I think the league's quality also allows his ability on the ball to look a lot better than it is, but he just out of his depth in Europe, and I don't see how there's an argument for him to start next week against Leipzig on the return leg. I don't. And that's my rant on Dyson Maeda done before I give him any more hate, because I feel like a bad person, but it's just me being honest. And now we're going to talk about Joe Hart, and this one, probably you guys will disagree with me even more, right? It's frustrating. It's just so frustrating. I think it's more the timing than anything else, in that when just after being let off the hook completely and going back to 1-1 after a goal having disallowed, 30 seconds later we go down 2-1, and it's all from an absolute rookie error from Joe Hart. That's the kind of error you expect from a 19-year-old. If that was Toby Oluwayemi in goals, I wouldn't be saying this, because it'd be his first Champions League game. He is very not much experience at all in the top flight. I wouldn't be saying this, but we're talking about a veteran here, a 35-year-old goalkeeper who has played in who knows how many Champions League games, how many first professional games. You could see that ball was going straight to the defender from a mile away, and albeit no one was really moving for him, so that is on the team as well. But Joe Hart has enough experience to be able to recognise the situation. Celtic have just been let off the hook. We're cornered back in our own end. Go long. Go long. All right? I know Ange wants the lads to play out from the back. Ange ball. Quick touches, one pass, one move, here and there. But Joe is experienced enough to recognise the situation and be like, look, it's not on. He was the captain as well. He had the captain's armband at the time. He's like, it's not on. Gonna go long, try and find a man, get the ball out of a dangerous area. He didn't. He stuffed up. Celtic go 2-1 down, and it killed the game. It killed the game, and it killed the whole team. It's such a costly rookie error. Now, Joe Hart is prone to mistakes. I'm going to be the first to admit it. He makes a lot of mistakes in the league, which go unnoticed because other teams can't take advantage of it. But when you're versing a quality team like Leipzig, they're going to make us pay. And they did make us pay in the worst way possible. And, I wanted to talk about the fact that it looked easily savable as well. I'm not a goalkeeper, but, from the reverse angle, it looked like the ball was at Joe's foot and he didn't even extend his leg out. It's hard to be critical on that front as well. He did make some good saves tonight, so fair play to him for that. But it's a rookie error from one of probably the most experienced player in our squad. It cost us. Arguably, you could say it cost us 1 point from that match. If that doesn't go in, do Celtic hold on for a draw? Do they not? Who knows? But it was costly. And yeah, look, there's just too many mistakes. And you know what? In the league, you can get away with that. Like I said, at any spot on the pitch, you can get away with mistakes because other teams can't take advantage of that. But in Europe, we pay the price, and we paid the price today. And it's going to be a massive, massive learning experience for the lads. And look, we can't let McGregor off the hook as well. Even when saying Joe Hart lost the possession, McGregor did too as well. But at least that was further up the pitch. We were just awfully countered then. We just were far off the pace today. I think everything that could have went wrong did go wrong. Leipzig were the better team. It's as simple as that. But the fact of the matter is that we were not up to the standard today, and we made our usual mistakes. We paid the price, and just a lot of players were off the par, and a lot of players weren't up to the standard. Supporters will support the team through thick and thin. I still support the team. I still love Celtic. But we can't shy away from the fact that the cracks have been creeping in recently, and it cost us massively. Changes need to be made, but changes hopefully will be made prior to next week. And prior to this weekend's clash as well. You guys are probably sick of hearing my voice. I think I've gone from like 16 minutes now, so I'm ending it there. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to be respectful of each other. And until next time, hail, hail.